Hello, dear friends. The autumnal equinox has finally arrived, and you know what that means. Time to get some totes out of the garage. Come along with me as I unpack some seasonal decor and sprinkle it around my house, bringing in some autumnal whimsy. And not a small amount of glitter. Now, I will admit, I am not a huge seasonal decor fan, never really have been. However, the autumn and winter seasons just feel different for some reason, probably because they're my favorite time of year, so I do make exceptions for that. But I do keep my decor pretty minimal in terms of how much I have. I also like to DIY a lot of things, such as these two wreaths that I'm showing off. This one is my autumnal wreath, and the one I showed before is the one I put out for winter. And I made these myself with determination and hot glue. A lot of hot glue, actually. And I love them, and I'm very excited to continue using them for years to come. The only other thing that I might do is if I find a piece such as these beautiful rainbow chrome pumpkins that speaks to me, I might pick up 1, 2, or 3 of them, and then I keep using them essentially until I perish. I also have a few of these fake foliage pieces where it's a flower or a collection of pine cones, and they are all attached to a singular stem that you can bend and fold and wrap around something. And I'll just stick these wherever inspiration strikes, and that's kind of it in terms of my decor. There may only be 1 or 2 surfaces in my house that have a pumpkin or something like that on them, and I like keeping it pretty light and minimal in that way, mostly because I like the decor that I already have. But I'd have, of course, made a few exceptions, and I mean, come on, a glitter sequined pumpkin in black, gold, and silver. Are you kidding? My perfect aesthetique. I mean, look at these. How could you say no? Something I've been enjoying this season is watching cozy videos from other folks on YouTube who are doing fall resets in their homes, and it's really inspiring to see how simple a routine shift can be for someone else, and yet it has such a high impact. So you don't have to have a lot of fancy decor or any decor at all. Even just changing out the fabrics that you're using on your bed or in your living room, what blankets you've got out, or what dish towel you're using in your kitchen. Something small like that that can just inspire this feeling of, time is changing, the seasons are moving, the planet is still turning, for now. Let's take a breath and restart. But it wouldn't be a video on my channel if there weren't an obstacle out to get me and thwart my plans. So as you can see, my wreath hanger doesn't actually fit over this door. This is the first time I've tried it on this door in this house, which is actually a good thing. That it doesn't fit, because it means that the door is nice and fully solid in its frame and it's not letting out all of the expensive air conditioning or letting in a ton of bugs. But it does mean that I need to come up with an alternate solution to being able to just hang the wreath on the hanger. So I have these clear clips that I've used for fairy lights outside before. So we're going to attach a few of those to the glass, and hopefully they hold the wreath and it doesn't fall and clatter to the ground or have any issues. And there we go. Look at that. Okay, that immediately puts me in the mood of cocoa, spices, candles, blankets, flannel. Let's go. Just ignore the fact that it's 90-something degrees outside. Now, after the wreath that I made, this next part is about as fancy as I get when it comes to autumnal decor. I have these 2 felt leaf-shaped placemats. I actually bought them as placemats, but I've not used them as placemats. I overlap them on a surface, either the dining table or on the top of the shelf that's sitting under the television, which is where they're going right now. And I have a brass bowl that usually holds the candy once we get closer to Halloween, but for now we'll just be holding more decor items. And it sits perfectly in this little garland, rose gold garland of leaves and berries that I found that I haven't even taken apart actually. It was sold zip tied to itself in this circle, and I like it in the circle, so I keep it that way. I sit those on top of the felt leaf placemats, and then I take my pieces of floral kind of botanical foliage in these really pretty gold and silver and bronzy colors and just kind of like slide them in and around the bowl. And this is the part that makes me feel like I'm an interior decorator and I know exactly what I'm doing, and every little piece is designed and perfectly placed and it's gorgeous. It's really just trial and error and putting something in a spot and going, ooh, that's kind of cute, and then leaving it there. So if you feel like you're not super creative in this way, please do not count yourself out. This is literally just me putting stuff in a stack and calling it good. But I've had all of these pieces for several years now, and just pulling them out each season makes me feel whimsical and light and excited, and it's just so fun. It brings me joy, and isn't that the whole point of something shiny and sparkly and pretty? This is a star sculpture. We have a ton of them because we decorated our wedding with them, and I love stars. So I'm actually going to set this up with the fall decor and stick a few of these little like botanical pieces in there, make it kind of sculptural. I don't know, I've not tried that before, but I think it could be cute, right? That kind of works. I think that's nice. I feel like that's the kind of thing I could leave up all year if I wanted to, but I like to use these little pine cone pieces in the fall specifically. And hey, no candy in the bowl yet, but the little gold pumpkins, pretty freaking cute, gotta say. Love a glitter moment. And now for the last area of decor. I have a teal console table in our entryway that is kind of across from the living room where the TV setup was that you just saw. And this is the spot where I like to stick my candles. We've got gingerbread frosting. That one was left over from last season, so I'm very excited to light it tonight. And I thought this could be a cute moment for the rainbow chrome pumpkins over here, because that large one actually can sit over top a small candle, and then you can see the flame glowing from inside it and casting gorgeous colors all around. So we're sort of going with like, this is the candle area theming over here in this circular brass dish that I have usually for coasters, salt and pepper, that kind of stuff that sits on top of a dining table, but we're going to use it to corral the seasonal candles for the time being. And of course, I have to include the lighter. It's not the most attractive thing ever, but it is practical, so it's going to sit here next to the candles, so it's easy to find when we want to light them. And at the other end of the console table, the final touches. As you can see, this is where we store our government overlord. That's where that sleeps. So I wanted to put this brass vase over here with my sparkling red and gold flowers, just for a gorgeous pop of color, and another metal star sculpture. Because, again, as I said, we have many, and I think they're kind of perfect. So here we go. This is the console table setup. I told you I love stars, right? You can see our tower fan on the left side because I do live in the desert. Fans are necessary. And we have some art that we haven't hung yet sitting down in the right corner. But I think this is a nice little entryway. And would you look at that? Another candle. Oh my gosh. Here we go. This is it. This is my autumnal decorating at its finest. and I think it's pretty cute. I'm pretty proud of it. You don't have to spend a lot of money or any money at all in order to zhuzh up your space for the turning of the seasons, especially if you find a few decor pieces that speak to you, that you really like. You can curate a collection for yourself and reuse those same pieces over and over and over again. It's just one of the lovely ways that I like to signal to myself time is moving forward and we're moving into that beautiful, crisp period of the year that just makes my heart sing. Autumn has always felt to me like the moment when magic wakes up and comes alive. It's this atmosphere of possibility and opportunity, even as the world, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, is starting to cool down and close up and seek rest. It's encouraging me to forgive myself for how much I made myself hustle and grind in the spring and summer, and to take longer walks and to curl up in a blanket with a good book, to sit next to my dog, to pet her as she falls asleep, to meet a friend at a cafe, to write in a journal, to take photos of beautiful places and your loved ones and actually print them out and put them somewhere in your home so that you can actually see them rather than just have them stay forgotten in your camera roll. My dear friends, I wish you unending joy this autumn. Take very good care of yourselves and have a magically whimsical day.